Hey, board gamers, BJ from Board Game Gumbo here, back in the Gumbo pot with another episode of Gumbo Live. It's episode number 168, Gumbo Live, the number one Facebook Live talk show in Southern and Central America dedicated to board gaming. Our special guest tonight is Charlie McCarron. He's a podcaster. He's a board game designer. From Tabletop Takeaway, a great little podcast. In fact, Verla, you're going to be interested. I want to tell you a little bit about this podcast because it's going to be right up your alley. He's also the designer of Surplus of Sloths, which is out on crowdfunding right now with the backer kit. Our producer, Steve, is going to throw that up pretty soon. And also a designer of For Humor. So we're going to be checking all those out. So hit us up on social media tonight, on Twitter, or on Facebook, or on Blue Sky, at Board Game Gumbo. We'll be looking for your questions in the chat crew. But a quick show note, this weekend is Southern Board Game Fest. March 29th and 30th right here in beautiful downtown Lafayette. We're going to have people from all over the Gulf Coast here. We're going to be giving away tons of games. So looking forward to seeing you there. If you make it, make sure you come by and say hello. And enough blather. I want to bring in Steve real quick. The name father. Hello, Steve.
Hey, BJ. How you doing?
So, Steve, we're the number one Facebook Live talk show on Tuesday nights dedicated to board gaming that's hosted in Central and Southern America. Your task. Why are we hosted in Central?
Oh, that's a good question because you had to get that specific to have it actually apply to us. I think is that right?
Okay. That would be fair, but maybe I should bring in our special guest because I bet our special guest,
shed some light.
Charlie McCarron, will shed some light. Why are we Charlie McCarron? Welcome to the show, by the way.
Hey,
Charlie.
Thanks for having me.
Why are we hosted in Central and Southern America? Any idea?
My guess is that's where you two live.
No, it's because that's where sloths are found.
That's where you would find a surplus of sloths.
That's right, a surplus of sloths. There, according to Steve's friend ChatGPT, that is where you can find. We've had an ongoing gag all season about whether we can trust ChatGPT for using our research. But Charlie, welcome to the show. Tell us a little bit about you, man.
Yeah. Well, slight ChatGPT tangent already, but I tried making a trivia game, and I thought, well, ChatGPT could handle basic trivia like dates on historic events, and it was terrible. So, yeah.
It will give you a lot of information.
Yeah.
I don't know if that information will be correct, but it will give you a lot of information.
Yeah.
For instance, when we first started messing around with it, we ChatGPT'd the show, and it said, Board Game Gumbo is hosted by BJ and his friend Dirk. Who's Dirk?
A quick correction there. When BJ says we did this, he said he's really meaning that he did this.
Yeah, right. Well, Charlie, give us the elevator pitch. You're a board game designer. Give us the elevator pitch on Charlie McCarron. Who is Charlie McCarron?
Yeah, so I do a lot of different creative fields. I started more on the music side, so making music for films is kind of my other piece of my life and career. And I don't know, maybe 10 years ago, I started to think, well, I love board games so much. Maybe I could try creating some myself. And so, yeah, just gradually over the years, been making games, and happy to say that I have 6 published games out, and Surplus of Sloths is now, like you said, on backer kit with WEIRD GIRAFFE Games. So that's probably my quickest of the games, weirdly, about sloths. But it's yeah.
Well, it's been an ongoing thing that Steve and I have been talking. Both Steve and I are musicians, and we've interviewed a lot of board game designers and a lot of board game players, people in the media. And invariably, I mean, so many of them have a music background or played music or in bands, like our friend Mr. Sean plays with the Rush Tribute Project. What What's the story? Do you think there's a connection between board gaming and music?
It's a good question. I think maybe there is overlap with nerds and
Okay.
both of those fields, and also like I think one of the reasons like the Midwest is such a big gaming central is because we have winter and we have to do stuff inside to keep ourselves entertained. So maybe there's something there too. Like, yeah.
I thought, though, Steve, the kind of person that is going to get this deep into the hobby in board gaming to design a board game or do a board game podcast or anything else like that is the kind of person who would pick up a guitar and spend months learning how to play it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good one. I forgot about that.
Yeah, there's something about the mastery side of it too, I bet.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you want to get really good at playing chess, for example. And there's a lot of similarities on like getting good at music, practicing regularly, and yeah.
You also have music that follows forms where you've got a verse, chorus, bridge, repeat, and there's themes and variations on all kinds of stuff. So you can go classical or you can go rock with this, but there's a sense that you're putting things together in a formulaic but still interesting way. And we still talk about both of them as playing. You both play music and play games.
Yeah.
And with people typically. So yeah, there's a ton of overlap in there.
So what instruments do you play, Charlie?
Usually guitar or keyboard.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, the composers, it always seems like keyboard is the start, right?
Yeah. Because then you have access to all instruments.
It is the correct answer. Symphony in your fingers.
Mm-hmm.
I was checking to see if Verla was ready, but I think she is. See if she's ready. I want to bring Verla in also because I want to talk to you about the podcast I've been listening to, your podcast. I got a chance to listen to it. So, hey, Verla, welcome to the show.
Hey, friends.
Hello, Verla.
Nice to see you.
I'm bringing you in to talk to Charlie because Charlie does a podcast called Tabletop. Oh, I forgot the name already. It's Tabletop.
The Tabletop Takeaway.
Tabletop Takeaway. And each episode. I'm going to let him tell more about it, but just a
link
brief
in the
thing.
comments, BJ. Link is in the comments.
There it is. It's right there. Oh man, there it is, right there. Tabletop Takeaway. And each episode they do like either a mechanic or they do a game, and they do these three designers, Charlie and your two buddies, and they do like the takeaways of it. But I'm going to let Charlie talk about it. But what I want you to know is that none of the episodes so far that I've listened to are over 25 or 30 minutes.
Yes,
That's Verla's big
that
thing.
means I could listen.
She can listen while working out. You know, she puts it on and it's a great little, and then you're finished with it. But tell me the background. How did the tabletop takeaway get started?
Yeah, so it started, my friends Ananda and Trevor were talking about Dominion, one of the classic deck builders that as designers, it's fun to just like chat about published games, of course. And they were like, we could probably just make a podcast out of this, right? So the three of us put our heads together, and I really like the format. I've done a podcast before called Composer Quest, which was on composing, and I did so much editing. It was just like an insane amount. And I said to these guys,
fun out.
Yeah. Well, that one, it was fun for me, but this one I said to the guys, we're not going to do any editing, and we're going to keep all the episodes short. And so, yeah. So our format, like you said, we usually for the month we pick a theme, like tile laying games was our first, or social deduction, or whatever the genre might be. Then each of us picks a game that we want to talk about. We play the games, and then we have a fourth wrap-up episode on that mechanic, and just like nerd out about what we like, what we're going to try to use as designers, and hopefully it's fun for non-designers to listen to also.
Well, I'm not a designer. I really enjoyed the one on Thunder Road Vendetta. In fact, Steve, they said something cool. I don't remember which one, whether it was you or Trevor or somebody else that said Thunder Road Vendetta reminded them of Heat, but mixed with Robo Rally. And I never thought about that before, but that's the fun of Thunder Road Vendetta over a game like Heat, where you're really trying to win and to get to the top. you really want chaos. I mean, the funnest part of Thunder Road Vendetta is just the experience of smashing each other's cars. I mean, yeah, it is fun to win, but
Yeah.
and isn't that what Robo Rally is? It's like we all cheer on everybody getting chaotic.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah, it feels like the natural like progression from Robo Rally, like different games, but Thunder Road is like everything is always chaotic versus Robo Rally is kind of like, oh, I might like go off in the distance and not interact with anybody for a while. It's like Thunder Road, nope. You're going through this narrow chasm that everyone's going to be crashing into. So
That is the one downside to Robo Rally. Almost every game we've played, there seems to be like a little runaway person who never really gets affected, and then one person in the back who completely gets affected, and then everybody else gets a little bit of it. But it's kind of. I like the fact that Thunder Road Vendetta. In fact, if you haven't played the Carnival of Chaos one, though, I think that's what it's called, the circle track. It's nonstop, bumping into each other and smashing into each other, and just. It's like somebody said, you know what? That's really what the heart of this game is, and we're going to do that.
Mhm.
So, back on day one, Kelly, I think she's referring to the sloths.
oh
Yes.
She is.
Ah,
Yes.
great.
thanks, Kelly.
And
Hello, Evan.
we've got Evan checking in, who also had a big convention,
Evan,
right,
Evan.
Verla?
We were at the same one.
I am jealous. You guys played that King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table from Johnny Pack.
Mm.
Oh, it was great. I
Are you
think you're
familiar
really
with that
gonna
one,
like
Charlie,
it.
at all?
I haven't played it. No.
No, are you familiar though with Johnny Pack and all the modular designs and Euro designs that he has?
I know the name, but
Okay.
yeah. Tell me what is the concept of that one?
Can you talk about it, Verla, or is it? Yeah, I guess you
think
guys
so.
can talk about it or not.
We posted about it. He liked that I posted about it. He
Okay,
was posting about
everybody out there, turn off your monitors. Okay, go ahead, Verla. We're good.
it. So we play tested.
Steve,
Knights
for
of the
you,
Round
we're on
Table.
Signal right now. We're
Yeah,
on Signal,
exactly.
so completely
Exactly.
encrypted. Go ahead,
Oh, my
Verla.
goodness. Knights of the Round Table, Crafty Games is going to be publishing it, so I know it's going to be like top-notch production quality. They had all their other games there. Side note, and I've seen some of them in person. I've played to Breeze and stuff, but their production quality is just so great, and I can't wait to see what they do with Knights of the Round Table because the prototype was already in pretty decent shape. I know they're going to upgrade artwork and upgrade little pieces and stuff, but the whole thing is King Arthur, Knights of the Round Table, and it's a worker placement game. There are tracks for you to move up. There are multiple sections of a pretty big board. It does take up some real estate on your table.
He loves those big boards, Johnny.
Yeah.
Pack. And modules. I'm
And-
assuming there's a million modules in the game, or maybe
We
not.
didn't get to those
Okay,
yet,
okay.
but there probably are, knowing him. There's a section where you are, fighting the invaders and trying to protect Camelot, but there's also a section where you're building up Camelot, like physically with little castle pieces. What was the other section? There's another section where you are building. Hey, Glenn.
We're talking about you right now. Board Games of Bourbon.
Yeah,
Mhm.
That's
he
funny.
was there as well,
His ears were
representing
burning.
Crafty Games. So you're also building Camelot, and you can build some other little pieces or buildings or something on this middle section of the board where you're gathering resources. But the coolest thing to me was over on one side of the board, you've got the round table, and we were expecting it to be like a rondelle mechanism.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not. It's this I split, you choose mechanic. And you're you're going through, they have swords. There's swords in the middle. There's like all these lines, like, slices of pie.
Okay.
And each little slice shows a resource. And then at the end of the circle, there is, randomly put out little knights. And there's 3 different color knights, and each of them are more powerful in different areas of the board. So you're taking turns, taking the swords in the middle of the table and placing a sword on one of the slices, and then somebody else places one. You can't place it right next to him because you need some slices in between. When all the swords have been placed, then you take turns picking a chunk, and you get all the resources in that chunk between the 2 swords, and you get all the
And the knights.
knights.
Okay.
And then you go through and you are putting your workers out, and it's super, super fun. Yeah.
Sounds really cool.
That is the location.
Yeah.
So that part all the way to the right is that that kind of eye split you choose thing you're saying?
Yeah, where you see the wheel kind of on the right.
Okay.
And then in the middle, you can put, I don't remember exactly what that's representing, because over the far left is Camelot, kind of the middle far left. And the bottom left in this picture is where you're fighting, you're doing battle with the invaders. But the middle part, maybe that's just the whole realm. You're putting knights out there to get resources that help you do other things. So the venue that we were at was a converted parking garage, and the public transit train was right behind us going by. So it was super loud. Just my ears were bleeding. So it made it kind of hard for a mid-weight Euro like this to be learning it. And Johnny's kind of soft-spoken to begin with. So
yeah,
I pulled out, just shared everything that I got out of it. I still had a great time. I can't wait for that to hit crowdfunding. I told him, I'm really sparse on backing things these days, but I'm really looking forward to this one.
Johnny Pack, by the way, another fellow musician.
Yeah, another a jazz musician.
Yeah,
that's right.
And Evan there with Portland Game
Evan
Craft.
too. Yeah,
another. That's Charlie. It's everywhere.
Glenn.
Yeah,
like everybody in the chat right now, except me and Kelly.
We gotta.
Yeah,
we
right
gotta
to the
start
round
a
table. 2 thumbs up.
Game enthusiast band. That's
there you go.
Yes.
Recently, I guess they could post it about it in the chat, but if I remember right, Ben Maddox from 5 Games for Doomsday, Johnny Pack, and Glenn all got together at RageCon maybe and did a little concert, did a little board game media publisher designer concert. So it can happen, Charlie. It can happen. We can get that
Rage
done.
Against the Tabletop or RageCon Against the Machine.
That's true. That is true. I was thinking the one that you would like would be Panic at the Disco Inc. More.
Yeah.
I always forget how to pronounce
Panic at the Discworld.
Yeah, exactly.
I totally do that.
Yep. BJ from Board Game Gumbo. I've got my guest here, Charlie McCarron, the designer of Surplus of Sloths, which is out on crowdfunding right now. Steve's going to post a link or has already posted a link. But Charlie,
so cute.
Thank you for coming on the show. We want to know, where did the idea of Sloths being a quick 15-minute game come from? This I got to hear.
Yeah, well, a lot of games of mine morph from one thing to the other thing to the other thing. And so this game kind of came out of a collaboration with Carla of Weird Giraffe Games. And we have another card game that is going to be coming out. But this was kind of like a tangential idea I had to that. And so it wasn't originally about sloths. It had an animal theme, and then it had another animal theme, and then it was beavers. And then Carla was like, let's just ask people what they want a game about as an animal. And so that's where we got sloths, kind of by the animal people were most excited about in a poll. But
she loves her puns though, like
Yes.
Surplus of Sloths. Is that her or is that you?
Oh, that was her. She's got a series of animal games that are way too many cats and Surplus of Sloths, and there's more of those coming out. But that's pretty fun.
I was wondering if a Surplus of Sloths was its actual name, like a Murder of Crows or what have you. But if not,
that was also, I thought, kind of clever about the name.
Yeah,
you don't know. But actually, I should look that up. I don't know what a group of sloths is called, but
well, in my mind, it will always be a Surplus of Sloths now.
Perfect.
Absolutely.
So tell us one of the mechanics of the game. I have been fortunate enough to play it, but
right, yeah,
I'm terrible at describing mechanics, so I'd rather Steve, the designer, tell us all about it.
Sure. Well, I like your playthrough
video. In the palm of your hand, man.
That's great. Yeah. So the idea that I really wanted to make a game that focused on this one mechanic, which is so you're drafting cards from the table and building up your hand, and at the end you reveal what runs you have, and you're trying to get runs in the same color. And the twist mechanic is So yeah, you can kind of see there's these rows of cards that are the river of sloths, and there's always one more sloth than there are players in those rows. So the one leftover sloth is the surplus, and it goes into a scoring area. Now the surplus net, and the idea is your hand isn't actually scoring you points directly. What it's doing is you're competing for that color. So say I have a good run of red in my hand, then I'm maybe going to win the points that are in that surplus area. So basically, any cards you don't take from the draft become the points. So you're constantly making these decisions about, ooh, do I want to try to build up blue by letting that get into the surplus, or do I take it into my hand to make sure I can win blue? So yeah, that it's real quick, like 15-minute game. And
it kind of reminded me a little bit, and it's not the same game, of course, but the flower game that Sarah had designed for Carla, the tulips game.
Yeah, Gift of Tulips.
Gift of Tulips. In that you're trying to figure out what other players are going to do and what you're going to do. But I did find that the scoring in this was very intuitive, Charlie. Like I was impressed. I was like, wow, for a 15-minute game, it can't be very complicated, right? Because why are you playing a 15-minute game that totally melts your brain? This game is intuitive and easy to play and really does play in 15 minutes or less. It doesn't take much time. Now, I've only played it with 2 and 3 players. How well does it scale up?
Yeah, so 2 to 4 players. It actually scales pretty well. What you do is you play with more sloth colors. So in a 4-player game, you have 5 sloth colors, and 3-player would be 4, and 2-player is only 3 colors. And just we found that worked out real well. The game is then, about the same number of cards you get into your hand, and so on. So, yeah. People I see are suggesting a lounging of sloths or a slow of sloths. Maybe it is actually.
We're getting lots of different comments here on what we should call it. That's the beauty of a game like this. There's just so look, we were joking about it the whole time. Slow, not slow. You're too slow. It renders it, and it's only 15 minutes, so it was very easy to just re-rack and play it again.
Yeah.
What about the artwork? What were you involved in that at all, or were you involved in the production side of it, or is that more of a Carla thing?
Well, that was more Carla, and John Merchant is our artist who made these awesome sloths, and I was happy to be able to see it as the art was progressing. But what I really like is, in my head, I was like, oh, it'll probably be like the cartoony sloth that kind of, we realized that all sloths, when they're illustrated, people make them look all the same. But there's actually a lot of species of sloths. So Carla and John really pushed for that we'd have 5 different species of sloths that look quite different. So
I love that.
Now that I think, I see that now that they have the sloth face, but only the way the eyes are. Everything else about them is is unique. They all look kind of different, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I would venture to guess maybe one of the most, I guess, accurate sloth art, except maybe the baby sloth. I'm not sure about that one. But yeah,
I'm trying to remember the baby sloths. That was something that was not in the base game, right? That was kind of a little addition thing, if I remember right.
Yeah, it is in the base game, but it's a variant where the baby sloths are 0s, but for all colors. So you get, when you're scoring, you count that 0 with all the colors.
Yeah,
which is kind of
it's kind of rainbow there. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So they're very good. They help make the lower numbers a little better, because usually the higher numbers are just a bit better for winning ties. And the other twist is when you draft a baby sloth, you have to put an adult sloth from your hand onto a score pile. So there's a little bit of strategy there too.
Okay.
Okay.
The other thing I liked is that the way that you set up the river, you always see, even though once the draft starts on one part of the river, you always know what the other drafts are going to be. You actually can kind of see that. So it gives you, even though it's only a 15-minute game, it gives you that little bit more level of, would that be strategy or tactics? I guess that's a little bit of a long-term strategy with a couple of tiny little tactics. You're like, I'm going to take this one because I see in the next river there's plenty of the other one that I need, right?
Yeah, and that was from Carla and her playtesters. The original version was just one row, and you just pick from that row. So I really like that addition too. Just a little bit more strategy.
What's it like working with Carla? I'm gonna spend the weekend with her this weekend. She's coming to Southern Board Game Fest.
Oh, so. Awesome! Yeah.
What's it like working with her?
Carla's great. We've been going to a design retreat together for, I don't even know, like 7 years maybe. And yeah, we always have a lot of ideas for collaborating on different games. And so another fun thing, speaking of the music side of things, I also self-published, did a small print run of a deck of cards called Troubadour, which I don't have the deck on me, but
is it on BGG?
You can kind of see from this card sheet. The idea is these cards are for songwriters for inspiration. So each card has a series of chords on it. You draw a card and try playing it on guitar or whatever, and maybe come up with a melody. And so, yeah,
it's sort of a songwriting exercise.
Yes. Yeah.
Interesting.
And so Carla and Nick at Weird Giraffe Games really liked the concept, and I had wanted to do a bigger print run of it. And so we are going to now collaborate with that too.
Oh, really?
So, yep.
Nice.
So that'll be a future Kickstarter. And I've been working on the art for all these lyrics cards. So there's the chords deck, and we're going to be kickstarting a lyrics deck, which will most likely look something like this, where it has a little bit like Dixit art plus a series of words to get you inspired for writing a song.
I have the older link, the previous link to Troubadour in the chat there.
Yeah. Well, she's going to bring, I think, Verla, you're missing it. Verla was supposed to be there at Southern Board Game Fest. I think she's bringing 10 prototypes of all
Carla,
kinds of different games.
Wow.
Of course.
She'll have a bag full. So I don't know, maybe Troubadour will be there. I'd like to try it out.
Yeah, hopefully.
More of a kind of a party game?
It's not really a game per se. It's more of a songwriting tool.
Okay.
But we are working on some game ideas that you could play with it. But yeah, the idea is to use the deck either as a band, you can jam with it, or solo. Just draw a few cards and see what you can make out of a verse, a chorus, a bridge, and so on.
Very cool.
I'm
Kelly,
super intrigued. I was talking to one of my brothers last week, and he plays guitar, has for since high school, and we're in our 40s now. And he was talking about being on a podcast that somebody connected him to, because they know he plays music, but he doesn't do it professionally. And they were kind of like, oh, do you have some songs that you've finished, and we could work with you on it and everything. And he was talking to me about how he never finishes writing a song. He just likes to play. But what you're describing here, I feel like would be so perfect for him, trying to eke that out and maybe bring something to completion.
Well, Charlie will probably back me up on this. The first verse is always the easiest. It's that second verse that's the hardest.
Yes.
Or
exactly.
Or the closeout, or the bridge, or you're like, oh, I think this thing really needs a bridge, or it needs a turnaround.
Yeah.
Charlie,
I totally agree.
It was real, right? Yeah.
Because I think it's like the first verse you write, the words work perfectly with the melody. And then the second verse, you're like, wait, I got to fit more words perfectly in with this melody. And yeah, it's like, well, I already said what I needed to say in the first verse. Oops. So
It just becomes a one verse
Oh.
song.
yeah.
Or like Samuel, is it Coleridge? You know, you get a knock on the door and then you lose the rest of the poem. That's it. Oh,
Yeah.
we're stuck. We lost the rest of it. So Samuel Taylor Coleridge. That's a story I heard in high school. I don't even know
Oh, okay.
if that's a real. But apparently, the Rime of the Ancient Mariner, if I remember right, is the one where he started and he was riding as fast as he could, and then somebody was knocking on the door and he's ignoring it, and then finally he says, "I got to go answer the door." He answers the door, and when he comes back, the muse was gone, and he never
No.
could finish the poem.
It was also probably beyond high.
He was definitely on opium at the time, and it probably wore out.
There was no door for anyone to knock on. It was all in Sammy's head.
So Surplus of Sloths, it's already funded on crowdfunding on that backer kit.
Yeah.
So that's going to be coming out pretty soon. And then Troubadeck, we might see down the road. Is that right?
Yeah. Sometime.
Yeah, as part of the campaign here, Kelly was throwing out before that people are throwing out sloth names. Is this part of the way that you get people involved with the interactive campaign here?
Yeah. They've done polls for the first 2 colors of sloths, and yeah, I think the brown one is called molasses,
Okay.
and the red one, I'm not sure
Very
which
good.
one won yet, but
Okay.
yeah. So
So
if you want
It's
to
time
name
for
a sloth.
Sloth Marsh Madness. It's what's happening here.
Yeah.
So the sloths are going to have an actual name in the game. That's pretty cute. Yeah.
Like
So that's Surplus of Sloths from Weird Giraffe Games, and it's already funded. So you know it's going to be coming through. Carlos delivered on dozens and dozens of projects, some of our favorite games out there. So that is a good one. BJ from Board Game Gumbo, I've got my guest here, Charlie McCarron, the designer of 4 Humors. And guess what, Charlie? Adam's Apple sent us a game through Envoy just this week. I cracked it open last night with some help from some friends right before we played Try Carry On. But more importantly, we're going to be giving it away for free. It's a play to win at Southern Board Game Fest coming up this weekend. But Charlie, I've never played it. It looks beautiful. Since you're here, could I bug you to
Sure.
tell me all about this game?
Sure. Yeah. Happy to. 4 Humors was my first published game, and it was kind of my baby at the time. Like, I worked with Adam on it, and he knew I was also very into art, and so I ended up being the art director for working with our wonderful illustrator Shirley Gong, who's in China. And so the whole concept is based on the 4 Humors theory of personality from ancient times. When they
Am I wrong that the art kind of is reminiscent of those medieval tapestries, like the Bayeux tapestry from France? You know what I'm talking about? No, it is really
I don't know
the
that
Bayeux.
specifically, but definitely going.
It's not Bayou like you're thinking. It's Bayou, like Bayeux.
You just
Okay.
make me laugh, BJ.
I'll have to look
Sorry.
that up.
But if you look at the Bayou, take a look at the Bayou tapestry. It tells the story of Harold being defeated by William the Conqueror of Normandy. It's a 220 foot tapestry from the 13th century. I can't remember now, but it's about the Battle of Hastings and everything leading up to that time period. And I've seen some of these medieval, transcripts and things like that where the artwork is like. So maybe it wasn't specific to the Bayeux tapestry, but is that kind of was that the inspiration for the game, the artwork, or did the artwork come later in your mind?
The artwork did come later, but I definitely, with thinking of the box cover, I was thinking of kind of like the triptychs, medieval triptychs, where it's
sure.
center panel, side panels.
Oh yeah, I see that now.
And the other art inspirations, so I kind of went for like medieval art, that flat look, plus Where's Waldo actually was a major inspiration, because
really
I had this, and I haven't seen much of it in game art, where the concept, I don't know if you can see the cards, but the cards,
go back.
let's see. one of the location cards.
Well, I could pull them out if you want.
Yeah. Yeah, those are really the centerpiece of the game. Is you got this big map, but the location cards each have a character on them.
We got these things here, which are the locations, right?
Yep.
Okay.
So those are the map tiles, and then you can imagine like each of those location names has a matching card, which they're these big oversized.
Oh, these giant cards, Steve. Look at these things.
Mhm.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's where most of the gameplay happens. And that's one of our special animal cards. But most of them have like the characters on them, the people. And if you show like one of those cards with people on it, well, there's another animal one. But
Okay. Oh, here we go.
let's see. Yeah, that's a perfect one. Okay, so that is called Repression Valley, that card. And you can see how their bellies have 2 colors on them. And in this theory of the 4 humors, they thought that you were composed of these 4 humors: yellow bile, black bile, blood, and phlegm. And if you're in imbalance with any of those, your personality would change. And so the idea is you're placing these tokens, you can kind of see those round tokens there, face down on a character in hopes of winning that card. And then once people have placed their tokens out, you flip over and you see who wins the card, and there's interactions that happen. Like there's a hierarchy where, the person who played the yellow sword will win automatically as long as there's no other swords there to oppose them.
Oh, nice.
So it's a little bit like the Prisoner's Dilemma, but expanded out into all these different scenarios.
Well, it feels like you could kind of bluff your way into winning some of these matchups, right? Where people are thinking you've played a card here, but maybe that's not the card you were actually thinking of.
Exactly. Yeah. And a lot of the strategy comes from knowing like, okay, well, this character could be friendly red sanguine character, or like a yellow aggressive sword. And if it was red and I played red, we both work together and we both win the card. So, yeah.
Definitely I can see it. Was that what you were looking for? Like you wanted to make a game that had the Prisoner's Dilemma, and how can I make that work?
I actually wanted to make a game about that theme, the 4 humors, because I had probably like 7 totally different games. And yeah, I think this one was finally, after a bunch of iterations, I realized like, ooh, we could do this Prisoner's Dilemma thing. So yeah.
In what you were describing there sounded like, if again with Prisoner's Dilemma, if you cooperate, you may both win at a particular rate, but if you compete, then there is a hierarchy of wins. So is it kind of a rock, paper, scissors among the 4? Is it rock, paper, scissors, phlegm? We have where there's a hierarchy of the humors?
A little bit. Yeah, a little bit.
Rock, phlegm, scissors.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Someone disparagingly said, it's just rock, paper, scissors. I don't get why people enjoy this. And so I actually, like, in response to that, I made a card that was rock, paper, scissors as one of the locations or something. So yeah, there's more to it than that, but yeah, there's a lot of randomness, of course, but it's part of it is deciding like where of the 4. So there's not only like one battleground at a time, there's 4 going on at once. So a lot of it is like resource allocation. Like, do I really want to invest hard on this one, or like fool someone into playing over here while I get away with stuff over here? So
I really like the look of the art here, because you do have that medieval look, but you have a cartoon look to it. So it's almost like you've like made Adventure Time tapestries.
Yeah, I love it.
It's got that vibe to it, and I really love both of those things. Put them together, it's got a nice vibe to it,
and it looks even better in person.
I really like it too.
Yeah, it's great. Now I do have to ask you though: 4 humors, a game of wits and guts, but we have humor spelled OURS.
Yeah.
What's the story there? We know you're a
Well,
Midwesterner. You're not a Canadian.
Yeah, I'm not from England. Though we basically realized like people think it's a haha funny humor.
Right.
And so for some reason just making it the English spelling.
The
with
old
the
English.
Old, yeah.
Yeah.
Made it feel a little bit
It's a good point. If it was for humors, like the Americanized spelling, everybody would think it's a party game, right? Yep. But but instead it's for humor.
Rather than being 4 liquids that flow in your body,
right,
to communicate your different personalities, like Hippocrates or Galen was proposing way back.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's 4 humors over here by Charlie, and we're going to be giving away a copy. Actually, we're going to be giving away this copy. It's already broken out,
Very
ready
good.
to go. Just need to learn how to play it. So we'll have it on our Play to Wins. All you got to do is check it out with your friends, put your badges in, and at the end of the night, we'll be giving away either on Saturday or Sunday. If Mitchell were here, I would know which day. I just don't remember. It's either Saturday or Sunday. So Charlie, if you're not busy, just fly on down to Lafayette and you can teach the game for us, man. It'd be great.
There is a link to Adam's Apple Games there with 4 humors there
thank you.
as well in the chat. You can pop that up there.
Still available. That's 400. That's 4 humors. All right. So Charlie, you know this is a board game show, right?
Yeah, I think so.
So we got to play a board game, right? It's time for a little game, and in the time-honored tradition that Steve loves so well, we're throwing out a brand new game tonight. I haven't even discussed.
Here's where the technical difficulties come in.
Yeah, come on,
Verla. This is where you in the middle of.
What? Sorry, guys.
She froze. Oh, yeah, Verla, you're gonna love this one. We've been iterating, like Charlie said. He was trying to find that mechanic that works with 4 humors, and I'm desperately trying to find a mechanic that works with this liar's game that we keep playing. So it's a liar's game. What we're doing though is you 3 are going to be competing to scope out which of these descriptions are either real songs, theme songs from movies, or fake theme songs from movies. Charlie, you did a version of this on a different podcast, but this one is going to be about, I'm going to give a description and you all have to jump in if you know if it's either a fake one or a real one. So I'm going to go like line by line till somebody chimes in, right?
So how do we buzz in here?
Because if you raise your hand, I'll call on you, right?
Okay.
But if you raise your hand and you get it right, that you were correct, that it was fake when it was fake or not fake when it wasn't fake, you'll get 2 points, Steve. But if you're wrong, everybody else gets a point.
Okay.
Are you telling us the movie or are you just reading a song lyrics?
It's not going to be song lyrics. These are themes because Charlie's a composer, so there's not going to be any song lyrics. These are all themes. I will give you the name, then I'll start giving you line by line with the description. Last but not, sometime in there, I'll give you a composer. And at some point, somebody's going to be willing to risk it for the 2 points, right?
Okay.
All right.
Has Chat GPT been involved in this in any way? Chat
GPT may have helped me out on this one. So,
all right. Okay. All right.
Are we ready?
Informed.
Are we ready? We understand the rules of the game?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So
I won't give you the movie because the movie would be too easy, right? So, and in some cases, the composer might be too easy. So I'll start out the other way. All right. Here we go. The name of the first one is called Automaton's Lament. Anybody want to buzz in? No, not yet. Okay. It's a dark, atmospheric electronic composition that explores the sorrow of a machine becoming self-aware. Oh, Steve says he's ready.
I'm going to say yeah.
It is a real one?
I'm going to say it's a real thing.
Steve, I have good news for you. It is not a real one. That is a fake song. And you just gave Charlie and
Verla each get 1
point. Look how easy this is. You guys didn't even do anything and you got a point.
But more importantly, look how generous I am.
Look how
what a good host
really
I
am, friend. Good job, Steve.
We're ready for number 2?
Kind.
We weren't ready for number 1, but we're ready for
All right, ready for number 2. This one's called The Ecstasy of Gold. The Ecstasy of Gold. This legendary piece is a defining moment in cinema, featuring sweeping orchestral melodies that build with intensity and anticipation. It's used during a
Charlie's in.
climax. Oh, somebody jumped in. All right, Charlie.
I'll say this is true. No, it's a real
True.
theme. Like it sounds like a
Evan's with
orchestra,
you.
a library music.
Library
Evan's
music.
definitely there.
Yeah.
Any guesses? What if I told you it was designed by Ennio Morricone?
Well,
Oh.
yeah, there you go.
It's the
All
good
right.
and bad and the ugly, the ecstasy of gold.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Awesome.
Good job. Good job. So that is 2 points for Charlie.
Yes, it is.
2 points. All right. Are we ready?
Let's go.
Sure.
This one's called Pixelated Heartbreak. Are we ready for that one? No, don't jump in.
Yeah.
It's a playful yet melancholic 8-bit inspired electronic piece that captures the emotion of love lost in the digital age.
Right. This was from Saving Private Ryan, right?
Right.
Yeah.
It's by Nadia Westbrook, and the track opens with the nostalgic, cheerful chirp of video game sounds, but quickly shifts to a more somber tone as the melody becomes more complex. Still no guesses yet.
Okay.
It reflects.
Charlie
Charlie has a
I'm
guess.
gonna
Yeah.
say that sounds real.
Real.
Yeah.
I have great news for you, Charlie. You just gave Verla and Steve a point.
Okay.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
No,
you got
not-
me with the
Right.
name.
Unfortunately, Nadia Westbrook never blended chiptune with modern synthwave, but it did
I wanna
sound
hear
real to
that.
me.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, you kind of want to write that one up.
Yeah.
Or add it
All right.
to the card deck, the Trouba deck.
There you go.
Mhm.
That's true.
All right, are we ready for the next one?
Okay.
Yes.
Lux Aeterna is the name. Lux Aeterna.
Yeah.
Nobody yet?
Um,
Oh,
um,
Charlie's
okay.
in.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to hear the description, but I think this is real. Yeah.
Yeah. You beat me to it, I think.
You're saying it's real?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
So but you want to hear the description just in case. This haunting and minimalist composition by Clint Mansell from Requiem for a Dream
Oh,
becomes
yeah.
a driving force throughout the
Yep.
film. Yep, that's
Okay.
it.
I knew the name, but
Eternal light.
Oh, Eternal Life. Yeah, Lux Aeterna.
Eternal light.
Yep.
Let
Like
light
Lux
eternal.
and light.
Let light eternal shine upon them. Yeah. So Charlie's in with another 2.
One last one. Are we ready?
This one is going to be worth 472 points, right,
It's
BJ?
good. No, because we always have our special little kicker at the end.
You have a
right?
wrinkle. All right.
One
Here we
last
go.
of the fake or not fake songs. Oh,
All right.
and, by the way, Evan jumped in and said that one was real. So yeah, good job. All right. I'll give Evan some points here if he can jump in before you guys. But here we go. This
Sure.
last one is called Dawn Over the Sapphire Sea. This orchestral piece captures the ethereal beauty of a sunrise over a vast shimmering ocean. The music begins with soft strings, gradually building into
And screaming fake.
He's screaming fake. Sweeping melody mimicking the rise of the sun. The piece's delicate piano interlude evokes a sense of tranquility. It was written by
Verla's in.
Eloise. Oh, Verla's in. Okay, Verla?
I'm with Evan. It's fake.
Kevin says, sounds like AI. So you're saying that Eloise Ravenshade is not a real composer's name? That's the name they came up with. By the way, some
Is
of
she
these...
from Hogwarts?
Yeah, I guess so. She was one of the ones.
Yes.
So they came up with Eloise Ravenshade, Roderick Vale, Anselmo De Luca, Nadia Westbrook, and Jasper Thorne.
Nadia. Was that Nadia again? Nadia came up
No.
twice.
No, I mean that's the
Oh,
five
that was
names
what.
that Central People
Gosh,
gave me.
I thought they were saying that all.
Wait,
of
wait,
them
wait. We
combined for
just
that one.
bypassed. I think I get some points, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You
Yeah.
get 2 points there. Good job. So
Verla gets 2.
going into the final round, what are our
All right.
points?
So going into the final round, I have 1. I scored a point. Verla has 4. Charlie's got 5.
Oh, okay. So this is for all the marbles here, and Evan's got 2 points also. So
Yeah,
For all the
yeah.
marbles.
Throw Evan in there too.
Charlie, this is the way this one works. Since we're talking about movie themes, I'm going to give you 5 real life movie themes. But I'm only going to give them to you one at a time. And you've got to rank them as how you think ChatGPT ranked the 5 most iconic movie themes of all time.
Oh,
And I'm
that
only going to
sounds
give you
really
one at a
fun.
time. So
Okay.
you have
Oh,
to
dear.
commit.
Okay.
And for you to get a
Oh,
point,
Five. So you asked it. Most iconic of all time of all
five.
films.
This is what ChatGPT says is the 5
my
most iconic
gosh.
movie themes. You're going to need a pencil and
Okay.
paper or your phone. And I'm going to give them to
Okay.
you one at a time. But you're going to have to commit without knowing all 5 of the names.
Yeah. All right. I
Are
think
we
I'm
ready?
ready.
Okay.
Number 1.
So wait. The scoring is going to be 1 point for everyone you have in the right slot.
You have to have it exactly right
In the right slot.
Yep.
Okay.
So unfortunately it's a landslide thing where somebody's going to get 4 or 5.
When it goes
and
wrong,
somebody's
it goes
gonna-
terribly wrong.
It goes really bad.
Right.
In fact, last time, Steve, I think you had one out of place and it messed up all of your.
Oh yeah, I did. I remember that one. This is a surplus of silliness, is what you've got here. BJ.
Exactly, surplus of silliness. It's out on.
I'm making a side list of movies that I'm guessing these are going to be from.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
I already got some ideas here.
Get some ideas. Okay.
We'll see.
So the first one, it's not necessarily number 1 because I'm not
Okay.
telling you what the ranking is. It's the classic theme by John Williams called Jurassic Park Theme, a majestic and awe-inspiring composition that captures the wondering of encountering living dinosaurs. Where put secretly rank those.
Okay.
We have to commit. No changing.
You gotta commit.
After.
And I think, Steve, what we've been doing is that once we do that, then you guys all reveal the numbers, or we did it at the
I
end.
think we do it at. Well, that's a good question. We could do it either way. We could reveal at the end,
Yeah.
or you can
All right.
say who you could say who you've got, and then you could also then know that okay, you committed to that one being too
Yep.
high. So I'm
Yep.
fine with whatever you want to do, BJ.
So
BJ,
I
your
guess, Charlie, where do you have Jurassic Park theme?
I put it at 5 actually because
okay.
I think there's more
Better
to come.
ones? Nice.
Mhm.
Verlo?
Great theme, but
I
yeah.
put it at 2.
Wow.
Ooh, wow.
I'm thinking about this. Charlie just told John Williams, the greatest living composer, that his theme is not one of the top 4.
I'm expecting
themes
2
of all
more
let me
time.
John
tell-
Williams themes.
Yeah, that was exactly
least.
my thought.
I have 2 of them in my mind that I know are going to be there.
Yep.
You need to leave room for them.
All right, Steve, where you got it?
I have it
I
at
left
4. I left
Oh,
room
all
for
3 different.
I left room for
Ooh.
something less iconic.
Oh,
But I was
okay,
right
here we
there
go.
with you. I was thinking 4 or 5, Charlie.
Here we go. Your guess that ChatGPT is in love with John Williams was a good one. By the way, anybody know John Williams' son's name?
William?
No.
The son who sings in Toto.
Oh my God,
But I
We're
don't
bro-
know his name.
we're brothers. Oh my God, he's like, oh Charlie, wow, you just made my day. Yeah, Joseph Williams, who has been a on and off again singer with Toto. Wow.
I actually, fun fact, I found out, my friend sent me a reel that was, he also sang the Gummy Bears theme song from when I was a kid.
Is that him?
No.
Oh my God, I love this show.
So
Is
Here
that
and
Joe?
there,
Is
it's
that Joe
everywhere?
Williams? Really?
apparently.
I got to check that out. Oh wow, that's great. Joseph Williams. That's right. He went to the same high school as Marty Page's son David, who started the band Toto. That's how they all knew each other.
Okay.
But he wasn't lead singer at first. It didn't come in till later, till Bobby
Okay.
Kimball got in trouble. Okay, so number 2 that we're on the list it is by John Williams. The Jaws theme, a simple yet menacing 2-note motif that builds tension and anticipation. All right, so commit. You must commit.
I'm committed.
All right, so last time we started with Charlie. Verla, you're up. Where did you commit to?
4.
4. Oh, interesting. Steve?
2.
2. Yeah, solid. Charlie?
That was my guess as number 1 before this game started.
Really?
So I had to commit to that.
Okay.
Putting
I like
at
it.
1.
I like it. Oh, what I'm really liking is, unlike previous versions of this game, you guys are all different on the numbers.
We're all over the place.
Yeah. All right, third choice here. The Rocky theme by Bill Conti from 1976. It's an energetic and uplifting track that embodies the spirit of determination and triumph. Where do we put the Rocky theme?
Okay, let's be clear here. The Rocky theme, we're meaning the horns. We're not meaning gonna fly now.
I don't
Isn't it
know.
Eye of the Tiger?
It's no,
Yeah, it was the
that's
third.
Rocky 2
Three.
or 3.
Three.
Right? The one with
I don't know.
Mr. T?
That's all I think
It's
of when I
Mr.
think
T.
of music and Rocky is Eye of the Tiger.
No, it's the dun 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 dun. Boom, boom. Man, did we just get kicked off of YouTube?
We probably did.
We
Yeah.
probably got a strike, huh?
All right. So I'm thinking it's that one rather than Gonna Fly Now.
Well, I think there are actually lyrics that come in later on, though.
There, Gonna
With
Fly Now
that
comes
theme.
in there, but there
Right.
was a release of a song by, well, I think it might have been Frank Stallone singing it. Gonna Fly Now.
All right, so Steve, you're up. No more
All
stalling.
right,
I think you're stalling, Steve.
I am putting Rocky at 3.
Charlie?
4, I think.
Oh, he's disappointed. You wanted it to be higher. Verla?
5.
5. Okay. All right. Ready for the next one?
Mm-hmm.
Let's continue the John Williams theme, shall we?
Mm-hmm.
We've got Indiana Jones from 1981, originally called Indiana Jones, but of course we all know it as Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark, an adventurous and rousing melody that accompanies the daring archaeologist on his quests. The theme's spirited rhythm and heroic brass evokes a sense of excitement and exploration. Speaking of excitement and exploration, I want to explore with you, Charlie. Where are you putting Indiana Jones theme on your list of 5?
That one I think is 3 because I'm still waiting for the one that I think is higher.
Okay. Okay.
Yep.
Verla, he says 3.
Same
3.
exact answer. 3 because I'm waiting for the one that I think goes in number 1.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Steve?
It's my favorite of all of them, but I'm not going to say number 1 because I think the one that's left. I'm putting
Steve,
Raiders of the
commit.
Lost Ark down at 5.
Commit to your gut. Your heart is
No.
always.
No, it's
your
not
heart
what I
is-
want. What I want is to win.
Your heart will never lead you astray, Steve. You know that from the show. I would never lead you astray.
My heart is stupid.
Steve, do you want to change? Do you want to just change? Or you
Nope,
committed?
I'm sticking. I'm sticking.
I was going to give you a chance.
You did. You totally
All right.
did.
So the last one, and probably the least well-known one, is Star Wars theme from Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope, 1977, which I saw in the theaters, but not on the initial run. I saw it on the Christmas run after it had played out the first time. So this triumphant orchestral piece from John Williams serves as the opening anthem for the Star Wars saga. You'll note that that's 4. ChatGPT loves John Williams, even more than
Really?
Joseph Williams liked John Williams.
Yeah.
It's 4 out of the 5 for John Williams. All right, so back to Berla. Where do you put Star Wars?
That's what I was waiting for. Number 1.
Were you
Yeah.
really? That's the one you're waiting for?
Yeah.
Charlie, Charlie, you too?
I'm having some regrets. It's at number 2 because I put Jaws first, but
That's true. Yep. I have
Okay.
Star
the two
Wars
notes,
number 1
the two
too.
notes that got me for Jaws.
Mm-hmm.
Steve, you have it at number.
I had number 1 left. I was saving Star Wars, thinking that was coming.
And Charlie, you had Star Wars.
Yeah, Star Wars
as
is
your,
2.
as your thought is number 1 though, or what? Did you
No,
have
no,
another
I
one?
have it as 2.
What was your
I-
number 1 going to be? What were you thinking?
His Jaws was number 1.
Jaws, yeah. I committed to Jaws just because I
From the
think
start. Gotcha.
in terms of like iconic, it's just
Oh, yeah.
those 2 notes just for some reason.
Notes.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's recap it. So we've got 5 themes. You guys didn't know the 5, so anybody watching this understand they didn't know the 5 until they came up one at a time. Number 5 is, and keep track of your score if you don't mind, Rocky theme by Bill Conti.
Ooh, Verla gets a point.
Berla ties with Charlie now, 5 for 5, right?
So now we both lost our Rockies too,
Yep.
which screws us up. Verla's in great shape here.
Yep.
Berla has that perfect bracket going.
Yep.
Number 4, the Jaws theme.
Wow.
Charlie
Berla
taking a big
again.
hit. Charlie taking a big. Yes, Evan, you are the big winner, man.
Oh, Evan.
We're winners because Evan was in the chat crew.
That's
the way
true.
it is.
That's true.
We're winners every time he shows up.
Mhm.
Number 3, Jurassic Park.
Okay.
Well, you know,
Alright.
the Jurassic Park ride at Universal Florida is fantastic, but what really makes it fantastic, that theme music. There's just
Wow.
something about that theme music when the big giant doors open up. Oh, it's so cool. Number 2, Indiana Jones, number 2, and Star Wars, number 1. And Berla knocked a bunch of these.
Yeah.
When you said Indiana Jones, that one,
That
you
messed
said
me up.
Jurassic Park was first, right?
No, Jurassic Park is 3.
No, but I
Indiana
mean, as
Jones
far
is
as what you presented to us,
3.
what
That was the
first
very
one?
first one I threw
That was
out.
the very
Yeah.
first one. And then after
Yeah.
you said Indiana Jones, I was like, Oh, I think those two are reversed.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I got them all but those ones. So I got 3 of 5.
Nice.
You did well. You did
All
well.
right. So
Got a
total
big
us up.
ol'
Who's the big
0.
winner tonight, Steve? I mean, who came in second?
I
to
earned
Evan's
another
nomination?
point with Star Wars.
Good job.
Thank you.
Good
Charlie
job,
stayed
Steve.
level with
Good job,
5,
Renee
but
Bobber.
Verla with 3 points in the last round climbed up from 4 to 7.
Nice.
And as it should be, all hail the Gumbo
The
Overlord.
Gumbo Overlord. First place, second only by Evan, of course. But Steve, you didn't go Konoyo. You actually scored some points. So
I did. I was saving room for Prisoners of Love from the producers to be there at number 1 too.
we weren't doing the Prisoners Dilemma in this song. We were actually you tried to pick the right one. Hey, that is Liar's Strings, I think I'm calling this one.
Okay.
That's our game time presented by our friends at Game Toppers LLC. Make your game nights a showstopper when you play on a Game Topper. And hey, everybody out there, he's running a huge sale, a March Madness sale, he's calling it right now. So go check that out. Also, big thank you to Berkey because he's a huge supporter of Southern Board Game Fest. We're giving away not 1, not 2, but 3 different game mats. A giant 3x8 one, a giant 3x5 one, and a giant small, not quite as giant, 3x3 one. Beautiful mats. Thank you, Berkey, for giving those to us. All right, board gamers, that's it for another episode of Gumbo Live. I want to thank Charlie McCarron for coming in. Charlie, I know you're active on some social media, so if people want to get in touch with you about Four Humors or Troubadour or Surplus of Sloths, if they have an idea, how do they get in touch with you?
Yeah, for sure. Reach out to me. You can, if you go to my website, charliemccarron.com.
Which is great, by the way. You made this show very easy to research. It was all on the website.
Yeah, yep. I got to put all my stuff out there. So feel free to email me or find my links on social media. Say hi.
I'm also a subscriber to your podcast, Tabletop Takeaway. In fact, you guys just dropped a new episode today.
Yeah, every Wednesday. So
what is the new episode on? I just saw the pop, but
let's see.
you remember?
Well, we put them all in advance.
Y'all recorded it this morning, right? I mean, it's all fresh.
Yeah. No, we record 4 episodes at a time, so that.
Perla, I'm telling you, it's 25 minutes. It's right up your alley. You can jump on that bike.
Pulled up. Numerical coordination games is what it's saying is most recent.
So, yep. So we did a whole series. We did. We kind of coined that term to represent like games like The Game, The Mind, and Hanabi, where all 3 of those you're cooperating to kind of get your cards in the right order. They're all numbers based. Okay. So
yeah.
Ooh, I like the way that works. Fit in that.
Tying them in all together like that.
I haven't played Tranquility. We'll have to.
That's a great one, and the artwork is beautiful. But that totally fits in what you just described.
I've not played that one either. Gotta try that one.
Lucky numbers too.
Make sure to like our Facebook page, facebook.com/BoardGameGumbo, and our YouTube channel. It helps us get the word out about all of our upcoming shows. No show next week, obviously, because we've got Southern Board Game Fest this weekend. But catch us up on Twitch, twitch.tv/BoardGameGumbo. Every other Tuesday night, where we play your games live on Twitch. Although we've been kind of switching around because Jeremy's been jumping in, and we'll be sometimes doing it on Mondays. So check that out if you get a chance. Also, we'll see you at Southern Board Game Fest. But don't forget, hit backer kit, surplus of sloths. It's already funded, so you're going to get a copy as soon as it's ready. I'm BJ from Board Game Gumbo, and until next time, or until Sobo, laissez le bon temps rouler.
Bye, all.
Good night, everybody.
Hey, friends.
Bye.